This is the new equipment room on Unit 1. Lots of kit here. Now, interestingly enough, when this power station was built, all of this kit whirring and blinking away, all of this kit wasn't here. The station was built in the 1970s. It had old-fashioned electromechanical control systems. All these modern electronics have since been added. And these are actually switched off. They're normally on like that. And it's all been added. Now, for somebody who undertook a 10-year journey, spent here, I hasten to add, in this power station, spent 10 years contemplating the workings of the mind. I'm struck by the way that the mind, like this power station, has evolved. You see, the human mind evolved very simple, primeval mechanisms at the base of the brain, and as the evolution has gone by, those mechanisms have been superseded by ever more advanced levels of, as it were, electronics. Look at all that wiring, mountains of it. Look at all that wiring. Now, one of the problems with state of mind issues is that the mind is actually the original primeval animal, and on top of it, ever increasing layers of electronics. The higher levels of the brain evolved after the primeval parts of the brain were well established. When we were animals many thousands of years ago, we didn't have all the high level brain stuff we have now. So we relied much more on our sort of primeval instincts. And so this power station, it's basically a primeval steam boiler. And when it was built, technology had already advanced to the point of electromagnetic controls, which weren't there on the original steam engines from which the power station has descended. And since then, the power station itself has evolved ever higher levels of sophistication, very often with the old system still in place, but just superseded. And that's what happens to the human mind. The old systems are still in place, they're just superseded. But the old systems are still there for a good reason. They're robust, they're being technologically simpler, they're actually much more indestructible. The problems come when you get conflicts between all the new stuff and all the old stuff. And if we get it wrong in this safety valve, if this power station, we can lift the safety valves blowing off steam because the boilers aren't happy. And so in fact we sometimes use the term blowing off steam when somebody has a rant because they've boiled over a frustration. You know, a power station can boil over in the same way people can. It's funny how we use the same analogies, you know. In the 10 years I've worked at this power station, soon coming to an end, I find myself struck by the similarity of the evolution of technology. Now, that wiring up there, the brain has something similar. It's called the corpus callosum, have I got that right? The corpus callosum was wired up using this style of cabling. It would have the cross-sectional area of 9 tennis courts. There's 300 million connections in the corpus callosum, and it basically connects all the major parts of the brain together. So this power station is the equivalent of a very simple creature by comparison. Nonetheless, the ever-evolving complexity of what is basically a steam engine, a primeval steam engine, reflects the ever-evolving complexity of life on Earth, culminating so far in humans. Now, I've become fascinated in trying to understand the ups and downs of my own mind, the workings of the mind itself as a machine. The mind is so effective in doing what it does that it's often easy to think that it has its own kind of separate spirit, that our free will is somehow independent of the mechanics of what goes on in our heads. Truth is, after 10 years of hard observation, whilst operating inside what to me is basically a huge human brain in its own way, it has become obvious, due to explanations far too complicated to express here, that everything we think, everything we do, even the feelings of we feel, are generated by the electrochemical and biological processes going on mainly in our heads. In other words, we are effectively machines. Okay, so we're made out of biology and not steel and silicon and plastic, but we are machines. And there is, I believe, absolutely no reason why, given significance, given enough technical competence, that we could build a thinking human machine, an emotional machine. And in fact, I begin to wonder if we're going to end up doing it by accident, the way we're going with all this rampant technology. Although, alas, that's if human stupidity doesn't wipe us out in the process. Indeed, bringing the two subjects together, we need not so much the creation of artificial intelligence as a reduction in the level of natural stupidity, because sadly we humans can be unbelievably stupid, as well as actually very, very clever to build something like this, not to mention a rocket ship or a hybrid car. You know, it's a quite extraordinary technology in here, and this is almost my homage to it. This is a homage, given that my time in this station is coming to an end. It is a homage to the power station, and it is also a homage to that other amazingly complicated machine, the human mind. These modules are very intelligent, essentially computerized, yet they don't control the station. What controls the station is the main control room 300 yards that way. So in a way, the main control room represents high-level intelligence. All of this represents the human limbic system. You know, it's not directly in control, but it is the fundamental underpinnings of what makes us us. Without these Wendy houses, the modern power station wouldn't be able to run. This equipment, automated plant management system, has basically automated the power station. And this station is so intelligent, it can even bid for generating contracts over the internet. And in other words, it has a presence in cyberspace. It knows how much it's costing itself to run at any moment, and therefore knows whether to bid for generating periods or not, depending on all the factors such as the price of fuel, the temperature of the boilers, whether it's been on or off, etc, 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 etc. And we'll emerge out of the Wendy house and we'll pop through here. Here we are. Here's the turbine hall. There we go, and there's one of the big steam turbines right below us. And quite high up here. Right there is the pipe that supplies the steam to the turbine. Pretty big, isn't it?